Welcome to Empyrion Galactic Survival Alpha 10, and the sun is just coming up on this part of the moon of my home system. You can see here we're just down here right on the edge, and because I've kind of been sat here waiting a little bit for that to actually happen. What I want to do in this part is go and get some protected Empyrion. And what I've actually done is I've actually found this crashed DCS2 mid, and it's actually got something I really need at the moment. I'm just going to try and land in here. And I'm going to turn the thrusters off, not turrets and weapons, thrusters. Because what I've actually found is just if I come up here and show you here, we've got a whole load of grow plots here, which is going to be very, very useful. And so we might as well get down to it. Loot lifter, fridge. Oh, one thing I have done is I came down here and I thought I'd put stuff in the fridge, so we're actually on emergency rations at the moment, which is probably not brilliant. I'm just going to put a core there. Now, I did shoot down a couple of drones to. So what I'm going to do is I don't want them coming in and no, we're just going to salvage. What we're actually going to do is put the core inside here. It means that if they come in and attack, as they will go for the core first. So we're just going to, yeah, we're okay. And it's just first things top priority. Number one, it's going to, because this time we're actually going to retrieve the blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, any more? Oh yeah, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's going to be more than enough to finish off my farm on my CV. And I think we'll just do a little bit of salvage here as well while we're at it. Oops, always doing that. And I really need that double tab in here. And I suppose we've got to have a good look at what else this ship has got. Got a couple of sentry guns, miniguns. We've got a minigun turret, a whole load of that. We've got an O2 station, O2 tank. I think we can certainly. Oh, you. I mean, this is a good example of what I was saying, that you got this turret, this drone come in, and he's completely fixated on trying to kill my. Oh, don't do this to me. Yeah, I mean, he was completely fixated on trying to destroy the core. I think this is one of the weaknesses with the AI. It doesn't work on the most direct threat, and that's partly why you can gain an advantage when you are defending a base, because quite often the AI will come in and concentrate totally on trying to get to the core and attacking the core and things like that. Oops, let's skip it here. Still, I have to admit, I'm still struggling a little bit with this performances and the upcoming changes, although the CPU is not actually there, but I'm sure the aerodynamics has changed the characteristic of the ship a little bit. So let's just get back here. I'm just going to drop that on top of here. Oops, I think I'm going to leave the what we got it on now. Okay, let's just get in here. What was I doing? Oh yeah, this is the loot lifter. I don't want to steal all my own oxygen. That would be a bit ironic, wouldn't it? Right, this is the crashed ship, so I'm gonna get. We got 5 Promethean fuel. Oops. Oh, we got 28 oxygen out of there. Just drop that into the ammo box. Back to ship stores. Right, I think there's probably cargo boxes on here as well. What I do want to do is salvage that turret. Grab that, oops. And some deco stuff up here as well for electronics. There's a gravity generator there. That gives me some energy matrices. Right, let's see what we got in the way of cargo boxes. We got 13 cargo boxes. It's got no generator, and we got a couple of fridges. If what we got in the way of food. Oops, no. Loot left there. I think we can put this in raw materials, because we're bound to get more raw materials from this than. Okay, small ammo box. Well, we'll take that. Fridge 2. I mean, the spoiled food would be useful for making plant nutrients if I need to make any more plants, but I don't think that's going to be particularly a big problem. I'm just going to have to try and keep an eye out for hostiles. Oh, we're getting some multi-tool stuff as well. 2. Not going to win that many awards with this. Never mind. But I think that's the way it goes sometimes. Oops. Right, we got some zirconium and promethium. Quite appreciate that, and some protected, because that's the resources I really need. And we've got a tiny bit of copper. So that's carbon substrate. And wood planks. Always wanted some wood planks. Right, nothing around. Right, I think what else got us in here? We've got a couple of thrusters, so we'll tag those. And we've got some medium thrusters as well. We're gonna tag those as well. Equipment. Some armor lockers, beds, showers, toilets. Actually do need, oh, we got some sentry guns as well. Medic station, which doesn't seem to want to show, but never mind. Just double tap. Where are the thrusters? Down here. Right, looks like we're going to have to drill for them. A little bit anyway. Presume this is going to be symmetrical, yeah. But it looks very much like the medium thrusters are actually. Oops. Salvage, or I think I'm going to salvage for the moment. I'm just going to grab out that. Right, looks like all we got left is the one medium thruster down here. If I hadn't already got it, I think I might have actually recovered it. Let's just. Nope. Let's get into here. So I've got that one already. So I must have missed. Oops. Ah. Bit of a fail there. Okay, so I actually got the one, the wrong one, so there is. That gives me some more flux coils. And I think that's about it for this. Oops, we got some. Take the antennas. I mean, they give me electronics and energy matrices. And a bit of cobalt alloy. What have we got down here? Well, we'll just keep grabbing these. I mean, these are just steel plates, so nothing special here. Flies through. I mean, I don't want to spend too much time picking up steel plates and all that. I do need a shower. I can get you. And a toilet. So that's one thing that is missing from the ship. That's all the CV. I think that is about it from the perspective of here. So I could spend a lot of time picking up all this. Okay, what have we got down in here? More showers and stuff in here. And I think we're just going to pick the score up as well. And I think that's enough. Let's just get back into the ship. Let's just have a kick once over. Make sure anything is damaged. I mean, I think we took a few hits. I mean, I brought this ship simply because it's got the carry capacity compared to my other SV. So I think that's enough for that. I think we can probably remove the tags. Oops. Right, we got some small pentaxids and magnesium this way, and iron deposits. I think we're just going to follow the sun at the moment. One thing I have noticed is the compass in the center there seems to have locked up. Now I'm not sure whether that is actually due to the fact that we're on the moon, or whether that is actually a bug. But it was working originally, and then suddenly it stopped. So that might be a little bit of a problem going forward, but I mean, if it is a bug, I'm sure they'll probably fix it. Now, while I'm flying across, I am going to talk a little bit about the CPU, and your comments and feedbacks very much appreciated. And I can see that the 10.6 update is going to be very controversial. And I think one of the problems is that, and it does stem from a major dilemma with all these survival type games, and I can understand the developers' dilemma on this, and that is always the balance between realism and gameplay. Because I mean, we all stay, I mean, I'll be honest, I've been guilty of this, and I say, well, what we really want is, you know, realistic mechanics, but at the same time, do we want realistic mechanics? Because I mean, one of the reasons why, I mean, I'm going to be completely honest, one of the reasons I play this game is so that I can get into space and do things which you wouldn't normally do. Because I mean, if everything was completely realistic, we'd be all running around basic rocket technology and stuff like that, which is great if you're really into it. But at the same time, there's some magnesium there actually. But the question you've got to ask is, do we really want that? Or do we want the kind of fantasy Voyager type view? And I think that is a dilemma, that when you're making survival type games like this, developers feel under the pressure to be realistic, but they can be pushed too far in the wrong direction. And I think that's what might be starting to happen with Empyrion. that they've kind of been asked by the community to say, well, we want this feel more realistic and there, but the question is, do we really want it to feel more realistic? Oops. Asked me to land on a rock. Trying to get as close as possible. Again, I mean, one of the dilemmas is, I mean, if you listen according to the scientists, that if we were out in space properly, there wouldn't be any life out here, but then you'd have nothing to shoot. That little bit of philosophy over and done with. I think at the moment with CPU and the changes to thrusters, and somebody also left a comment about something that was coming in the future. Apologies, I can't remember your name. I've been been very difficult to kind of keep track of things in this week, about the fact that thrusters will generate heat and affect blocks next to them. And again, it's an interesting mechanic, but do we really want it? I mean, I'm not completely opposed to it as long as, say, that they allow us to have heat resistance. So if you imagine, say, hardened steel blocks and any blocks like that, even concrete, have a heat resistance. So that if we're building a landing pad and a ship's coming in with thrusters, the amount of damage they take is something they can resist, is probably the way to say it. Because when if you think about it, with vertical takeoff and landing ships, they can quite successfully land on, say, aircraft carriers and airstrips, and they don't do that much damage to the base. Alright, that's that deposit cleared out. Just remove that. Just delete that. What did we get for that? Because I was so busy talking. We got 173 magnesium, so that's good. Got a rock, and it's right in the centre of the square there, but it's not actually. It's actually in my inventory. And I think the other thing also is that if they're going to start going down the direction with having thrusters generating heat so they can't be enclosed, they may need to go for other propulsion system. I think this goes back also to the CPU and the aerodynamics, that what may have to happen is that the developers the developers may have to, sorry about that. Slight little bit of digression there. Oops, no. Is what may have to happen is there may have to be a demarcation between ships that operate on planetary surfaces and ships that operate out in space, because I mean there are no aerodynamics out in space, and I've lost that. Come on, I've just wasted ammunition. And then of course that then leads into the possibility of actually being able to build orbital stations, you know, from a player perspective. I mean that would be really cool if you could actually build a space station, because then you could build a spaceport, and then say you've got a big CV that wants to operate in space, especially if you're in PvP. That ship will never have to go down to the surface to land. I mean, it's a bit like if you watch the Star Trek series with the big spaceports there, because I mean, theoretically, a ship in space can be as chunky as it wants as long as it's got the thrusters. I can't find that in this drone. I mean, anyway, this is just a thought. I don't want to get too deeply into this, because it is a big subject. Yeah, I've lost that drone. That's annoying. And again, I think it depends on where the developers are taking the game. Right. Temptation is to go north so that we can stay with the sun. So if we go back north and east, let's see. So we found a cobalt deposit. Not particularly that interested in cobalt deposit. I'm probably prepared to rough up the drone if we can see him. Yeah, there he is. Get a reload. Got you that time. Wow, this ship is really getting a little bit rusty because it's got a bit too much weight on it. Okay, I'm just going to land, and I've completely lost my thread of thought. I'm just going to jump back into here. Right, it says we got something to the east, so what we can do is just go back towards the east and another cobalt deposit. What's that? And it's got another drone defending it. Just whack that back on. We can see him. And of course we're going to have to turn that off again. And this time, yeah, no. Edge a little bit forward. There he is. I can see you. Wait. You got one last shot in on me and it hit me. So I thought I'd killed you. I mean, Cobalt is not really high up on my list of things I need. So I got quite a big pile of it. Just gonna have a quick ship once over. There we got a little bit of damage. Because this ship isn't particularly well armed. So. Right, see somewhere I've lost some of the blocks from it. Right, it says east or west. How's the sun? What's this? Iron deposit. Small, medium. Now, I'm not going to waste time. I need promethium and pentaxid. I know I can go down and gather the pentaxid on the surface, but at the moment I'm quite happy with doing him getting a bit low on oxygen as well, so maybe actually there's a little bit of patch of pentaxid there, so what we can do is just go in here and I'm just gonna put down here, jump out, just gonna torch on so we can see what we're doing. I mean this is the hard way to collect pentaxid because each one of these is just one. But I suppose it all adds up from that perspective, and more importantly, seeing I'm down here now. Fill up oxygen. The last, oops, no oxygen in tanks. Okay. Loot lifter. Ship stores. Okay. Raw materials. Ship stores. I'm just going to fill that up. That should be enough going on with. And we're just going to go head off to the west. I would guess that what is ahead of us is Xerax. We're just going to keep going west, follow the sun. Just very sluggish. Let me just. Okay, we're now in Xerax territory, and there's a drone over there. He's very close to that base. So we're just gonna do a high flyover, and another pentaxid deposit, silicon deposit, power station. I see somebody shooting at me. Nope. I just fly. If we fly back east, there's like a dead zone over there, and that will get us back into the daylight. And it says east again. I found a very small magnesium deposit guarded with a drone again. Hey. That was a bit antisocial. He came in very quick then while I was messing about. We're going to have to repair the ship again. We've got a few whacks. Of course, this ship doesn't have an armoured cockpit either, so that's a... Yeah, we got a few power blocks, some minigun ammunition. I'm not sure whether I should put an armoured cockpit on this ship. I must admit, I am tending to use it a bit more. Looks like we've lost a block from the top here, and one from that side as well. There's a damage there. One from looks like we've lost the that looks different. Maybe when I repaired it I didn't repair it properly. Of course I can't get on the top of my ship now. Put the jet back on. So, what was it? Magnesium's very small. I don't think I need to worry too much about magnesium just at the moment. I mean, at the end of the day, I can always come back here should I need it. I'm just going to fly north and see what's going on up this way. So, I think what we're going to do is fly back east again into the sunrise, because there is stuff to the east and south. We might as well see what we can find. I can't remember how much promethium is actually on this. So there's 3 deposits on here, and I'm not finding them. Looks like we got planet rise there now. Right, we're being drawn into Xerax territory. I think we've already got this one, haven't we? I think this is here, the armory. So we're just going to Skype over the top of the armory. This isn't the ship for... And we just found a small promethium deposit right next to the armory. Close to the armory. Right, there's... I'm just going to fly north. We got vehicle port, and he's firing at us. Different dodge. I think we're out of range now. And an iron deposits. Now there is one thing I want to put out there, because I've just noticed time's pushing on, and I can't make the video too long at the moment because the machine I'm recording on isn't particularly very good. So gotcha. Put in before you could attack me. Yeah, this is not my normal machine, so it's got limitations. What I'm thinking is that I know originally in this series I said that I wasn't going to build a base, but in the light of the CPU, there's part of me that's a little bit curious about what the CPU effect on bases is. What I'm planning on doing over the next few parts is we're going to return to wherever that planet, what's that planet called? Let's say it's Satora here. So what I'm thinking is we're going to go back to Satora. We've got Goshpesh here. I don't know what this is. This is a snow one. So we've got Goshpesh. We could go to Satora and then go to Goshpesh. and check that out. That's got copper, silicon, cobalt, neodymium, sapphire, and promethium. So they're roughly the same. And then find a base location and build a base so that we can experiment a little bit about CPU. I mean, if you've got an opinion on it, feel free to chuck it in the comments. And I think this is probably a good point to wind the video up. So this is where I'm going to leave it. Apologies for the short length of the video and the disruption again. But hopefully life will get back to normal next week. So until then, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.